Hey lovely people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell notification button. If you've already subscribed, welcome back and thank you so much for the support. You guys have been amazing. Yani, you don't believe it. Like, I really can't believe it. Thank you so much for the support. In today's video, I am going to share with you my experience with a landlord, my first landlord. So 2018, I got a job. This job required me to move immediately because I was reporting to work the next day. I went for the interview, like say today, and then I got the job the next day. So I had to move real fast. So I was lucky enough that my cousin was living in the area where the job was. So she looked for a house for me, and the only house that was available was this house that I'm talking about in this story. So this house was a bed sitter. It was on the ground floor because the other top floors had three-bedroom houses, and I did not need a three-bedroom house. So at that time I had to settle for that, and so that I could keep working and maybe look for another house later. But that did not happen. One thing I'm going to tell you: before you move to a house, please look at it, check everything out if it's working perfectly. Because when I was moving to this house, there were several things that were not okay with it. Like the shower had broken a little bit. The hot shower, the top part had been removed, and I think they did not repair it before I came in. So I just moved in because I was desperate. I needed a place to stay. So I stayed there for a month, the second month, the third month. I stayed there for quite a long time, and I believe some of these things are my fault, because after several months I started noticing the walls were moldy, they were very dark, the house was dark, there was not so much sunlight coming in. But at that time I was so busy, I didn't have time to go and look for another house. I was just focusing on work. I didn't even care, as long as I had a place to sleep in, and the next day wake up, go to work, and yeah. So I stayed there for some time, and then I started noticing that my foodstuffs were getting spoiled real quick. My flour was getting moldy, my sugar was getting all soggy and wet. So I did not understand what was going on. I had even stopped. It reached a point I stopped buying food, because why buy food when it's going to get spoiled, right? So in this video parts, I'm going to try and tell you, be ready when you're moving into another house. Have that time, check the place out, make sure everything is on point. Ask around. After some time, I decided to tell the landlord to move me to another house because I had started noticing my health was deteriorating. I thought I was going to die because I was sick. I was moving from this sickness to another. It kept on. I was sick all the time. I had homa. I had so many issues with my body. I was even starting to question my immune system. But I didn't even know that this house was affecting me that much, because I could sleep, and then when I wake up in the morning, my whole nasal area was messed up. So I told him to move me to another house. At that time there was a house next to mine, but on the other side of the compound, that was vacant. So I moved to that house. It was better air. The air was good. The sunlight could come in nicely. So for me that was better. So fast forward to this year. It was this year has been rainy. From January it's been raining back and back to back. And I remember in March I was at work, and at 5 p.m. it became so dark. It was so dark on that day. I was wondering, I even thought that the world was ending, because I've never seen that much darkness at 5 p.m. So after a few minutes it started raining. I'm telling you, nature was angry on that day. Nature was angry. It rained so hard, and in my mind I wasn't even thinking that at you I live on the ground floor. No, I was comfortable. I was just waiting for time for me to get back home. So 9:30 came, I went back home. On reaching, there was a blackout at that time. I opened the door and I found water all over. I found so much water, I couldn't even believe it, Yani. There was so much water. The water had reached the level where my bed was. My mattress was wet. My TV was this close to getting submerged in water. My bathroom was full of mud. I think it was sewer water mixed with mud, mixed with all the things you can think of. So I got into that house. I was shocked. I cried. I loudly cried. I cried so loud. I think people thought I was crazy at that time, but it really hurt me. I really cried. It's sad. I haven't gotten over that situation. So that night my family came for me. They were shocked. The house was like, it was flooded. If I was sleeping in that house at that time, if the water found me in the house, I could have probably drowned or something, you know. I'm not being too extra, but I could have probably drowned, because that was, I've never seen it rain like that in years. So I moved from the house. I gave the landlord the notice, because he told, it was before, it was not even end month yet. So, but I had paid like rent for the next month, because, you know, so at the time Corona was already here in the country. So I had planned myself. I had done some good shopping, and I had paid rent for 2 months, that month plus the next month that I was coming, because I didn't know what was going to happen. People were losing jobs already at that time. I was just lucky to have still been working at that time. So after that, I called him. He did not pick up. I texted him and told him that I'm moving out because this and this happened. Nobody was communicating at that time. Remember that nobody was communicating. So I called him and told him that this and this is what is happening, and I don't think I can live here any longer. So I'm giving you a 1 month notice for you to give me back my rent plus my deposit, my excess rent plus my deposit. One thing I will warn you guys about is never ever pay extra rent. Like, don't ever give anybody extra money from your pocket. Please don't. These people are not reliable. That is what I've learned from him. He has taught me the worst. Yani, people are so heartless out here. So let me get back to the story. I'll give you bit by bit by bit. So I told him that I was going to move, and I've given him the notice that I'm moving, so I will need my money the next month. On Friday, the president announced the cessation of movement. On Monday, he went further and announced that he has closed the borders in the country. Nairobi was under lockdown, Mombasa and another county up like on the north of the country. So after that, I called him. He told me that he had moved out. He had gone to the rural area to visit his family, so he was not in Nairobi, so he couldn't process my money. I don't know what he was processing, but he told me that he couldn't process my money at the time. So fast forward to July, last week on Monday, that is, the president announced that the borders were open again. Wow, I was happy. I was happy because I'm expecting so much. And part of this so much is my money back, obviously, because this landlord had been stringing me along, telling me stories that didn't even add up. You know, there's a time I even asked him, Connie, M-Pesas work everywhere nowadays, so what are you going to wait for you to give me back my money? So he kept on giving me flimsy excuses on why he can't give me this money, or because he's in the rural area and he can't process the papers. But I chilled, and so this morning I woke up to a message, and I looked at this message. I was still sleepy, so I looked at this message and I was like, oh, landlord. The landlord texted me. I was like, oh. So he has finally seen my missed calls, my 1,000 missed calls and my messages. But this message was giving me a list of things that I had broken, things that he repaired using my money. Things that he was repairing from the house that I had moved in before he moved into this other house in his same compound. And I was wondering, why didn't he tell me these things when I was still living at this other house? Like, did I just move in and then they closed their eyes and didn't look at the house, or what, you know? He could have just told me that he was not going to give me back my money, and I singefanya kitu. I couldn't have done anything about it because I'm helpless, you know. I can only use this platform to enlighten everyone else about these landlords. One thing to never do, don't ever pay extra rent. Don't ever pay extra rent. These people are not human. You landlords out there. I may not be speaking for all of you, but who even taught you? Like, what school did you go to? Who is your parent? Because most of you are inhuman out there. Why should I call you endlessly? Why block me when you know that you're right? Just tell me to my face that you're not going to give me my money and I'll leave you alone. You know, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. That really cut me off badly, because that's a bad habit. Please feel free to tell me your experience with these landlords, because these are just like, there's some things I can't say on here, but you know, I am pained. It pains me. Why should I look for you like for 5 months? You don't even pick my calls. You never pick calls when somebody needs you. But when it's time for you to pay back, or when it's time for you to do something back, you can't just be loyal. Like, what's wrong with you landlords? You can't just be loyal for once. You know, I don't know what's wrong with these people. If I'm not a good person, then I understand. But if I've been following your rules all through, why write down a list of things I did, things that you could have confirmed when I was still living in this other house? You're waiting for all this to come down because you have so much money that you owe me. Now is the time that you see that it's time, the time that you see fit to tell me that, oh, you broke this, and all this money sums up to the money that I'm asking you for. What kind of heart do you have? Are you even human? It's crazy out here. You know, this is a kind of a rant video, but please tell me, what would you do if you are me? What would you do? It hurts. I'm going to include pictures. It hurts. It really, really hurts. It cuts so badly. You know, this is money somebody has worked for. Please just stop playing with people out here. You know, you might encounter somebody else that isn't as patient as I am. I was patient. You never picked my calls. You don't do anything. You don't even answer calls. You don't even reply messages. You don't see the need to talk to somebody because at the end of the day, you're the one who's right? But you know one thing, you need to understand that karma. There's karma out here and there's a God. Everything you do to people out here is going to come back to you 10 times over. If you're a landlord out there and you're doing that to people, that is just, that's some. I think I should just end this video here. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the bell notification button, and please remember to share with me in the comment section below your stories with these landlords. I don't know where you live. Please just make me understand. And thank you so much. God bless you. I love you guys. Take care.